What's up, everybody? So, I just got done watching episode 12 of Akame Got Killed, and here, nothing happened. Nothing happened. Okay, well, things technically happened, but it... Okay, before I go into like a synopsis type thing like I normally do, let me get something out of the way. This series is 24 episodes long. 24. We're on episode 12. Keep that in mind. It's gonna come up later. So we start off this episode with them on the flying manta ray going to an island and finding a new place to live. Once they get there, the Bionic Commando slave lady's like, oh, I'm gonna have my slave bot go ahead and build us a house and make us dinner and do a whole bunch of stuff, but there's danger beasts everywhere, so I'm gonna need you guys to go out and clear it up. So Tatsumi and Boobs go do that right after we're introduced to the new red-headed character who was on the back of the manta ray in the last episode. Turns out it's a girl named Chelsea. Anyways, Tatsumi and Boobs pretty much just go and eradicate all the wildlife that they can find, and in that time, Tatsumi pulls out this spear that he'd never had before, and I guess it's special, but I don't know. They don't really make a whole lot of mention it in this episode, but it's something that happened, so I should mention it. But whatever, they kill all the wildlife and come back with meat. So Akame and the slave bot start cooking the meat while mine and Chelsea kind of get into it and start butting heads. And I guess somehow the topic of Shield and Bullet gets brought up, and Chelsea starts talking about it. She wasn't there for any of that. She's like a brand new recruit. She says that Bullet and Shield were naive and let themselves get killed, and it was an idiotic move, which pisses pretty much everyone off, but mostly mine. So it's at this point we shoot over to the Jaeger side of things, and that's when we see Esdeath kind of in a crowd of people looking around, seeing if she sees Tatsumi. And there's one of the other Jaeger people, this blonde dude who like barely ever got mentioned, and he's with her, and he's thinking to himself that he should keep an eye on her, which makes me think that he, yeah, works for her, but really he's working for like the Santa looking dude and the Emperor dude. He's working for like the higher ups to keep an eye on her. Anyways, after all that, we go to the girl with the dog and the machine gun arms and the gun mouth. And she's all sad because Dr. Stylish died, because apparently she has a tie-in with like everybody that was ever working for the Imperial Guard. So I guess she like knows everybody, and so she's all sad about Styles or Stylish or whatever, and then Esdeath comes up and hugs her and it's all nice, and who gives a shit, moving on. Back at the night, Ray, Tatsumi, Mine, and Strings are all having like a campfire talking about how much they dislike the new girl Chelsea, and Mine's like really pissed off and like, we need to get back at her. So Strings, or Lubbock, or whatever you want to call him, comes up with an idea for Tatsumi to go invisible in his Incursio thing and just see her naked, and the reason for this specifically is because he wants to know how she'll react when people see her naked, so he can do it. So Tatsumi for some reason goes along with it and sneaks up on her invisible while she's in a bath area. But when he gets to her, it turns out it's the Imperial Arms Bot thing that saved their ass in the last episode. The thing with the blue hair, it looks like Devil's part-timer, it's that guy. Only it's not him, because she sends Tatsumi coming, and because she's a shapeshifter, she took his form essentially. And so she explains, basically, I could sense you coming and that'll get you killed against a real opponent. Don't be stupid. So he's like, oh yeah, thanks a lot, I really appreciate it. By the way, why are you a douche? And she goes on to explain, oh yeah, my last team all died because they made stupid mistakes, now I want to see the same thing happen to this team. So then they kind of share a moment which is ruined by stupid humor as always, and we shoot over to the end credit scene. In this scene, a bunch of guys are in a mine somewhere just working when all of a sudden like 40 clay faces, like 40 clay faces come out of nowhere and start eating them, and then we see a guy in a shroud with a smile who seems to be controlling the clay faces, and he has like no relevance to anything else that's happened. It's just like, hey, in a mine somewhere, this dude's like controlling clay faces and they're eating people, ooh. And that's it. There's no plot progression, no anything else. That's the end of the episode. And I mean, there is one thing that could be considered plot progression, and that's Esdeath. She said something to the effect of, oh, the final fight could be coming soon, and then you see like Akame and Mine getting their weapons ready and stuff, which I mean, I guess leads into a big fight. But we're on episode 12 out of 24, so I'm thinking it's probably not the final fight. And while we're on the subject of this being episode 12 out of 24, that brings up my major issue. We are on episode 12 of 24, that's halfway through the series, and if you have ever seen a series, any other series, any series at all, The Walking Dead, Game of Thrones, anything, the mid-season finale is always the cliffhanger, the page turner. It's always the thing that's gonna keep you coming back for the next half. This is the middle of the series, and it's not even filler, because filler has a story. One very secluded, crappy story, usually really, really crappy story, but it's there. It has a beginning, a middle, and an end. This was all middle. This was stuff. This was stuff. Just stuff. It mattered in no way, and I told it as compellingly as I could. Admit it, you fell asleep a little bit. And the other thing about this is it was just still frames. Like the vast majority of the animation in this was still frames. There was almost no action except for when they were hunting danger beasts for like 10 seconds. And nothing happened. They didn't progress the plot. They didn't go anything. They went a little bit into Chelsea's backstory, but who the fuck cares about Chelsea? Who the hell is Chelsea? Get the fuck out of here. I feel like this episode offered nothing to the series. You could just take this episode and snatch it out of the series and nothing would change. It would be better. It would be better because it would be shorter and I'd have to watch less. They made me watch more for no reason. And it's not just that they didn't really animate this episode, and it's not just that nothing happened and we got character background a little bit on a character nobody cared about. And it's not any of that. It's not the lack of plot progression, the lack of fighting, the lack of anything that happened whatsoever, the lack of anything good. It's none of that that gets to me. It's the fact that they spent 24 minutes on it when it could have been 1 minute. Don't believe me? You don't think this could have been 1 minute? I'll prove it to you, and I'll make it more entertaining than they did. Although I will be voicing everything, so it's not gonna be good, but it'll waste less of your time.
Okay guys, it looks like we found a new place to live.
Cool. Cool. By the way, my name's Chelsea, and I can totally turn into things. Cool. Cool.
And my manslave is building us a house.
Cool. Cool.
I'm taking Tatsumi to hunt danger beasts. Look at all of the danger beasts they kill. I wish Bullet and Shield were here to help me eat these.
You mean those two idiot friends of yours that died? Don't be like them and die like idiots, okay?
I hate that bitch and you should all hate that bitch.
I totally hate that bitch. I want to see some boobies.
Paul, did I get here?
I can totally sense you.
Weird. So, random question. Why are you a dick?
Because my friends died like idiots and I don't want to see you guys die like idiots. Duh. Cool. And I sure do love working in mines.
I
love
awesome.
mines.
I love lamp.
What was that? Oh god, I hate
Why are we in
mines.
this mine? I fucking love mines.
Did somebody say my name?
Wasn't I supposed to be in this episode?
See? Same story. I don't really have anything else to say. That said it all for me. Peace.